Yeah. Morning, Mr.
Hey
Vaughn.
yo, morning.
How you
Welcome
doing?
to another exciting episode of People's Rebuttal Podcast.
Exciting.
I'm your co-host Von Solo, along with my man Zach the Bear Whiteside
Yeah, from Red Oak, Texas.
from Red Oak, Texas,
By way of so many other places.
by way of so many other places, thanks to good old military system.
Yep.
What's going on, man? How you feeling, brother?
I got some sunburn on me, man. Got a little sunburn,
Yeah, you look
but
like a
it's
little
good.
Larry the Lobster,
Yep, it's good.
old Larry
We're
the
out there
Lobster action.
playing golf yesterday. We figured we'd show y'all some stuff from yesterday. So I don't know where the hell this picture came from. It looks like I'm throwing up. I did not throw up, just so everybody knows. I was just fine. Yesterday we were out at the Kenny the Shark Gant Charities second annual golf tournament. Again, please don't take those photos again. That does look horribly bad. Of course, I'm not very fun. You can already see the red.
Yeah.
And that was fairly early. I mean, that
Turned
we,
into
we
old
hadn't even
peach.
left yet.
You turn into old peach.
Yeah, we hadn't even left yet. We were literally waiting.
That's at the beginning.
Yes, we hadn't even left to go to the first hole.
Yeah.
That was that.
You was downhill at that point, buddy.
Yeah, we are going to share. I'm going to share this one. We're going to have to do the audio for you because it's not going to play the audio. Actually, yeah, it's not going to play the audio.
Oh, good.
But
you don't need to hear none of that.
I don't know. I'm going to reenact it for everybody. So we were up there, and Vaughn was like, "Man, look at that hole, man. Just look at that, how it looked, and how the tee was down there." So I thought, I'm gonna get down here. I'm gonna take a video, and this is a video, and this is Miss Vaughn winding up. Here we go. And I said, "Woo!" right down the center. But if you pay close attention, you see him looking to the left, like way to the left. I was trying that because I would have died with the lie. I would have been like, yes, he hit it right down the middle. But I will tell you, if you put the TV up on big where it's big, you can actually see the ball literally go all the way left. I mean, I ended up in the water. You actually
probably could take the little thing and the with the little time stamp thing and watch the ball slow.
Oh, let's see.
No, down at the bottom down there.
Yeah, hold on. Right as you swing, I'll pause it and we'll see if we can't see that ball. Boop. Yep, there it is right there.
You a lie.
That's it. Look at that little white dot.
Yeah, my ball was orange. So I know damn well that's not
Hold on. Let's see if I can grab a hold of this little time thing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it turns orange, but then it looks white. Look at it. You see it?
Ooh.
Look at that sucker.
I mean, it went right.
Hold on. Let's see if we can get the splash. No, I think splash happens.
It didn't go right in the water. It hit the ground and it curved on,
Yeah. But I gave you, see, we never would have had to tell anybody, but you were telling everybody, no, that sucker went straight to the left. I would have died with it. It just looks white as it heads towards the water. It's probably screaming. I'm gonna die.
The swing didn't look bad at all.
Nah, the swing looked good.
It didn't look bad. The swing didn't look bad at all.
No.
But, it's all good, man. A lot of people not transparent about, their games or transparent about, anything. And when we get on social media, we want to show people that, we're the best. We show them the good times all the time. And people are led to believe that, everything in life is great. But you know me, man, I'm here
actually
for
the
growth segments of it.
That's a great that's a great little side inside of our just another. I mean, we basically did just another podcast.
Hey, good morning, John.
Morning. Snowing.
Wow.
For me, you see all these pictures. It to me, it's a little crazy. You see all these picture perfect people, you know, on all these families. The next thing you know, dad murders the mom and buries 2 kids in a barrel in Colorado. Murders his own kids. You know, we have this it's funny. I'm not going to mention names, but I know somebody who used to take a ton of pictures, and it was always screaming at the kids, no, look this way, you know, smile, you know, all that other different stuff to make it look like it was picture perfect, when in the end it was a cluster. I mean, it was an utter clusterfuck. I used to take videos because to me that was funnier and better than anything else, was the videos of trying to get everyone to smile the exact perfect way, because that's not what we are. We are not the perfect families. We are not the perfect little, you know, you see these photos and half the time right before the photo, one kid punched another kid, and you know, it's not as picture perfect as everybody wants to make it out to be. I'm gonna show this last one. You took this one, didn't you? Yeah, because you sent it to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
So that was Kenny, Flozell, you and me.
Look at all that water out there. That's a good pick, man. That's a good pick.
Good one.
That's a really good pick, man. I had a good time yesterday.
I did too.
I'm just blessed to be able to have friends and stuff like that, man. So yeah.
And you argue with your celebrity. I always think that's funny.
Ain't nothing celebrity about that, man.
But so who was it? So I have been around this quite a few times. I always think it's funny. It's funny when people meet people, and you met an offensive lineman yesterday that you were talking about how, you know, he was somebody that you looked up to. I mean,
Absolutely.
Really you look straight ahead at him, but well, that's a different story. Who did you meet?
Eric Williams.
Eric Williams, and he was a cowboy.
Absolutely, ex-cowboy, great. Yeah. In the mid '90s, everybody knows that '90s was the Cowboys were on the '90s pretty much, which gave them the title of America's team. But it's a whole different ball game when you grow up here in Dallas, and you know you watch them go from whatever in 15 they were that terrible year, and all of a sudden they got good and they gave some people something to cheer for. Well, as a big kid and as a big athlete, we watched the offensive line. It was really like the first time that I think in maybe the history of football, offensive line actually got some praise.
Credit. Got credit for it.
Credit for a lot of the stuff that they did. And so, Eric Williams was one of the guys that was on that offensive line that helped Emmitt Smith, for all those 1,000-yard seasons and help, Troy Aikman, give them the time to deliver the ball. But it wasn't just them doing their job. It's the way they did it. It was physical. Eric Williams was a big, physical, nasty lineman. And he was the epitome of nasty. And I think every tackle, if you played tackle at that time, he was what everybody wanted to be like. And it was just, I just relived all of those yesterday when I seen them. I was like, you got to give people their roses, man. You do, man.
And the other guy was Lorenzo Lynch. I kept trying to remember his name. Did you see him?
I don't know Lorenzo Lynch.
Yeah, he played, I guess, Bears, Raiders.
Was that the guy with the Raider hat on?
Yeah.
No,
Raider hat, Raider jacket.
I didn't know
Lorenzo Lynch.
I didn't know him. Trust me, if I did, I would have walked up and spoke to him. But I didn't get a chance to get around to him. One, because I didn't know him. Two, I just didn't cross paths with him. But I did see him. I kept wondering who that was. But
Lorenzo Lynch.
Yeah, I had a great time. Good morning, Mike.
Hello, Michael.
Yeah, I had a great time, man. That was a surreal moment for me, when you there's a saying, I'm your favorite player's favorite player.
Yeah.
And I felt like that yesterday when I seen him. I said, there's no way I'm gonna let him leave today without me. Uh, there's no way I'm gonna let leave today without me giving him his roses today. I was going.
Yeah.
I had to make sure.
Oh no, you were like, oh my goodness, in high
Uh,
school, and then Flozell started talking about how he used to
yeah,
watch his tape in college, and
No, yes, it was like that, dude. I mean, for him to be that, he don't realize how iconic he is. He probably does, but it's just a shame, man. It's a shame because it all comes down to one thing. I don't care about how many accolades a person has or how many accolades that I have. Uh, it's about being respected by your peers. I don't give a damn about none of that other stuff.
plus like peers, like guys who played your position. I mean,
yes, that's what and the opposition, the guys that you played against.
Yeah.
So guys going to the Hall of Fame that damn sure don't deserve to be in there. I'd rather be voted in by players than any news reporter ever. Because at the end of the day, I do respect their point of view and their profession and the discipline that it takes to do that. But it means a lot more when it comes from another player that you played against or played beside. So yeah, I gave Eric Williams his roses. I was a happy moment for me.
Well, yeah, and you look at I've talked about, like, Randy Moss, guys like Randy Moss, Barry Sanders, Michael Vick, guys who redefine what it means to be that position, because to me, Barry Sanders was the epitome of redefining that you don't have to be 6 foot something. You don't have to be huge to be a matter of fact, we don't really have a ton of huge. I think what's Derrick Henry's probably one of the bigger running backs nowadays, right?
Him and Zeke.
Yeah. Well,
Zeke's
but
big
Zeke,
back too.
no, but Zeke's what, 5 foot something?
No, Zeke about 6'1", 6'2".
No.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, man.
Man,
I
I'm
walked
at
up to the dude. Look it up. That
I
dude's not no
am
5'11". That dude about 6'1", at least.
Zeke Elliott.
Man,
He is 6 foot exactly.
he about 6'1".
Man, he didn't look that big when I met him.
Man, that dude tall. He tall for a back. Yeah, most backs is 5'10" and up under that. He's definitely a tall back. Yeah.
But you look at, guys who used to play running back, they were big, tall, and Barry Sanders kind of said, "Hey man, you don't have to be that. I can run around your ass. I'm just going to run around. I don't have to run through you. Try to catch me." And Kenny always talks about, I guess Kenny's got a scar from where Barry whacked him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's like, "Yeah, well, I got a scar right here from that dude." I was like, "Okay."
Oh yeah. Every now and then, man, you find a player that breaks the mold.
Michael Vick.
That breaks the mold, and I categorize them in different categories as far as athletic ability and the ability to use the athletic ability is concerned. I have below average, average, above average, and then you have, excuse me, God gifted. And
Yeah.
I've been fortunate to see. It's one thing for a regular person to see it and be wowed by people's athletic ability, athletic prowess and size, but it's a whole nother thing for an athlete who's playing at the top level to when that person makes all of those type of people say wow, that's when you know that person is really something special. And I had the opportunity to play with Randy Moss as well and Jerry Rice. I played with them and I played with Tim Brown, and I got to see guys that you grew up watching. I'm old enough to be fall right in there to see guys that I think I've played with probably or been on the same team with at least 10 Hall of Famers. So it's definitely some of those guys were definitely really deserving of those of that of that title.
Yeah, I always look at the Hall of Fame as a joke. I mean, no
Anytime,
offense to guys that make it in the Hall of Fame, but y'all earned it. I'm not saying you didn't earn it. The Hall of Fame is great, but there's so many people who are just sitting that aren't in the Hall of Fame, and you're like, really?
Eric Williams is supposed to be one.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me you put Tony Baselli in before him? I wish you could see my inbox. When I posted that, they was like, I had friends that was like, Eric Williams is supposed to be in the Hall of Fame.
What about
And,
Too Tall?
Yeah. I didn't. As far as me, I didn't really get a chance to watch Too Tall like that.
So,
he still looks He still looks good.
Yeah, he does.
He looks
still
good,
around.
man.
He came up to me yesterday.
The Will Chamberlain vibes.
Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, they're doing a bunch of construction in my house," and I said, "Did you take down your fire alarms?" He goes, "Nope." I said, "I bet they've been going off." He goes, "How'd you know?" I'm like, "Dust and construction do not match with fire alarms." And so I guess his fire alarms have been going off lately.
What do you mean fire alarms? Those things like the sprinkler system stuff? What do you mean?
Yeah, the smoke detectors.
The smoke detector. Okay.
When you do construction, a lot of that dust will get in there and it basically clogs it up, so it doesn't have that free air in your smoke detector. So I got to go out there. He said they'll be done in a few weeks. I got to go back out there and reinstall and clean up all the door contacts for him. But Ed's one of them. By the way, we're gonna go again to Oilers running back.
Earl Campbell.
Yeah, Earl Campbell's event. So you should go for that.
When is that?
I don't know. I got to talk to him about it again. He wants to haul his truck down there. I fixed his big sign with his stuff on it, but
what kind of event is it?
It's a car show. 57. Ed's got a 57 Chevy with suicide doors. It's a nice truck.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a big car show down in Tyler that Earl Campbell puts on.
Oh,
Tony
that
Dorsett.
One. Oh, okay, that one.
Yeah, the one Flo and I went to last year.
Yeah. Okay.
Tony Dorsett will be out there, and
sweet.
Yeah, it's massive.
Sweet.
Yeah. It was crazy because Ed looks over at me and goes, Earl Campbell wants to talk to you. I was like, why the fuck does Earl Campbell? What did I do? Did I do something wrong? And I walked over there and he goes, I just want to thank you. I've been trying to get Ed to come out here for 20 years.
Is that where Earl Campbell is from?
Yeah, John Tyler out in
I don't know why I
Tyler,
thought he
Texas.
Was from, I thought he was from Southern Texas somewhere. Oh, okay.
Yeah. He said next time. He said where'd y'all stay? I said we stayed at a hotel. He goes, no, next time y'all gonna come stay at my house. I said, all right. I won't. I'm not that kind of person, but I don't really. Yeah, I'll stay in a hotel, but nice guy, very nice guy. But Tony Dorsett was there. A bunch of people showed up for Earl Campbell.
So how is it being around all those legends? How do you feel about that?
Growing up, I was 10 years old, and we were at Brookfield Zoo, and I saw Dudley Moore at Brookfield Zoo. And I was like, oh my God, because that was right around the time that what was the big movie he was in where he was rich and then he wasn't? Arthur. You ever see Arthur back in the day with Dudley Moore?
I remember Dudley Moore.
Yeah. I was all, excited about it. And my grandmother looks over and goes, just remember, he's just a regular person that a whole bunch of people know. That's it. And so I've really kind of carried that forward. Meeting Barry Sanders, that was a big deal to me just because, again, to me, Barry Sanders, Randy Moss, how you define, how you do what you do, how you redefine what you do. Again, Michael Vick, guys like that who
that position.
Right. They redefine that position. And then everybody, because, up until Michael Vick, yeah, you had running quarterbacks, but you didn't have them like Michael Vick was a running quarterback.
Right.
So that's always neat to me. It was great. I'm one of those people. I've met a lot of these guys that, let's just be honest, they're just dicks. You know, they think that, like, I'm not going to say who it was, but yesterday, you know, I was talking to a guy who was there who played, and he was talking about where he went to college, and I'm like, well, where's that at? He's like, how do you not know where that's at? Like, I'm so fucking, you know, supposed to know where every small university's at. You know, or I'm supposed to know who you are. There was a guy in Arizona who was like, you don't know who I am? I don't know. No, I don't know who you are. I was da 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 da. I don't get the credit. I don't get this. I'm like, I'm not in the committee for the Hall of Fame, so I don't know why the fuck you're talking to me about it. But
Right.
the idea that so many of these guys that probably played great ball, like I'm supposed to know who they are. And he was literally frustrated at me. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm supposed to know who you are. I don't care. Meeting Earl Campbell was great. He's a very nice guy. I mean, he was there are guys who are like Earl Campbell. Ed is one of the humblest people you will ever meet in your entire life. Earl Campbell was that way. You know, if I meet them and they are, Lorenzo Lynch was great. We were sitting there talking about, you know, where I mean, he lives in Dallas, but we were talking about where he was like, you live where? I was like, yeah, I live there. He goes, man, you should just come pick me up. I was like, well, next time, man, let me know. I'll come pick you up. But it's just there are good people, good celebrities, and then they're just assholes. Kenny, oh my God, Kenny's one of the nicest people you ever meet in your entire life. I mean,
And at the end of the, yeah, he is. He's a cool guy, man. He's a cool guy. I think at the end of the day, we still, I mean, we just like your grandmother said, we're still people. We're still people. So
right.
you're entitled to be a person. And you know, some people, I guess,
Want to be the celebrity.
And sometimes
the opposite of you. You don't want it.
And yeah, because I don't really feel that way. But
right. But you are, but you don't want it. And then there's guys who think that they just deserve it. Like, oh, I'm, you know, you're supposed to know who I am.
Yeah, there's a lot of perception in that, and then there's a lot of guys, man, that are very, very quiet. You know, that are very quiet. They don't do good in spotlight situations. They're not really
Barry
talkers.
Barry is
not
the epitome
really
of
talkers at all. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, you get out there, you got paid for doing something that you were good at, and so yeah, people like Barry Sanders. He had to learn to be on TV. They made him a social person.
Oh, he's not now. I mean,
absolutely not.
You
He's
leave
all
him
over
alone.
TV.
Yeah, you leave him alone though. If you're at a party, if you leave Barry alone, he will go sit at a table by himself and not say a word.
And not say a word.
Yeah,
I would have loved to meet Barry. I would have been giddy like a little.
I guess we can talk about that.
Cheerleader.
So you remember we were sitting with Barry, and I wish, is he watching? Can you tell who's watching?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, do you know if you know who's watching?
Oh, Big Daddy? Big fella? No, he's not.
Okay. I won't tell that story until he tells me I can tell it. But you remember he was all giddy about meeting Barry.
I would have too.
Yeah, I was nervous because I actually met him. We actually had specifically gotten him his own car at Emmetsdale, and Zachary, one of my kids, was driving. So I was like, hey, you know, Mr. Sanders, my name's Zach Whiteside, and I didn't continue so that he knew so he was just kind of, you know, because people walk up to you and you're just like, what the fuck, you know, who the fuck are you? And I get it because I'm around it and I see that people do that, just the awkward meeting people, and you're just like, dude, get on with whatever you got to say. I didn't. I was that dude. I was the dude that
the dude like, that just kind of followed like.
So, but then I saw him at the golf deal, and it was a lot different. I was like, he goes, oh, okay. He's like, I just wasn't sure. I'm like, I get it. You don't want to be kidnapped and stuck in the back of a van by some weird dude walking up to you going,
Right. Oh, Barry Sanders. Yeah.
But that's also a funny thing of we were in Miami and watching, Ray Lewis and Kidd, Christopher Kidd Reed. So we were at the NFL had their big thing for the 100 years, so every player could get in plus one. And I went in there, and then when that was kind of winding down, we came down and we were at the bar, and it was me, Flo, Kid was actually sitting next to me.
You talking about in LA last year?
In Miami.
Miami.
Yeah.
For the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Okay.
The week before. So the NFL had their big, huge 100 years. So every player got themselves plus one. It was actually pretty nice. And then I'm not going to say who gave away a whole bunch of stuff, but let's just say somebody who does clothing. Fuck it. So Michael Strahan was like the goodie bag.
Yeah.
And the goodie bags were full of like medium belts.
Oh, shit.
Large belts. I mean, I had to give my belt away. What the majority of guys who played can't fit in a size 32 belt.
What?
And that's what it was.
A 32?
It was a 32 belt. It was
32?
crazy. I mean, it was great stuff. I'm not saying it wasn't great stuff, but it was just crazy that the stuff they were giving away was like it must have been from like a leftover storage facility for the extra small.
He should have gave away belts starting at size 38, maybe. I was really about to say 40, but 32?
I ended up giving them to the kids. I mean, that's about the only person in my household it would, back then would have fit. It wouldn't fit me now either. But it was always, so we were sitting down there, we were doing a deal. Bill Cowher was there. John Randall. I mean, all the NFL guys had come down. And, and Ray Lewis starts coming down, pats Flozell on the shoulder, says, hey, Flozell, and then looks over at Kid and goes, oh, my God, it's Kid from Kid and Play.
Right.
And Kid stands up and goes, oh, my God, it's Ray Lewis.
You're right.
So it's just funny to watch some of these guys meet each other. And it's like, oh, my God, you're Ray Lewis. Oh my God, you're Kid from Kid and Play. It is the funniest shit in the entire world. And that's nonstop when you go to places like that.
Yeah.
You see guys that are like, oh my God, you're so-and-so. And then they're like, oh my God, you're so-and-so.
Right.
Shit's hilarious.
Right. People have that effect on others, man. You never know who people are fans of,
Yeah.
And so Kid was definitely a staple, for the culture, especially at that time when, with House Party and all those movies came out that they played in, man, it was just a good shift of 90s energy.
Yeah.
And so if you were a kid then in those years, man, the Kid and Play was pretty big. So,
well, it's funny. I mean, I
felt that way too when I first saw it.
Yeah, we went to one of his concerts up north, and I texted him when we got there and said, hey, man, we're going to your concert, and da-da-da. He's like, well, I'll get you tickets. I said, no, man, I got tickets. He's like, well, I'll get you. He's like, why'd you buy tickets? All you had to do is tell me. I said, I ain't gonna mess with your money. You don't mess with my money. But then he ended up giving us passes, which is why we ended up getting in the back. And but Kid's great. I mean, Kid's Kid. But it's always funny to watch these guys. And half the time I met Marshall Faulk, and he looked very familiar when I was in Atlanta. I met Marshall Faulk, and, that was kind of, I didn't know who he was. Nice guy. I also met New York Giants.
What did he play?
Always wore the cross in his ear.
Oh, LT.
He was all right. I mean, I was towards the end of, he had been there, gotten there. He was talking to Jim. And then I had come around, and Jim and I started talking, and he came up and kind of started talking to Jim again. And I had asked Lawrence Taylor if he'd sign or if he'd take a picture with me with the helmet that I bought at that auction. And he said, man, I've already, or no, I asked him if he'd take a picture. He's like, no, I've already taken pictures. I'm not doing it anymore. And I was like, okay. I just kind of blew it off. And then Jim goes, so Zach, where you living? And I said, I live outside of Dallas. And then Lawrence Taylor came and goes, oh, I'll take that picture with you. I was like, wait a minute. It took that to get the picture, for him to, which the only reason he knew me was because, we do some of his American stuff, or he doesn't really know me, but the only reason he was even talking to me is because we do some of his American stuff. But I don't know. I mean, I see it. I see when big fella goes places and does things, or he hits like a wall. Like, most people don't realize that, you're not the first person. Kind of like you talking about how tall are you? How's the air up there? You're not the first person today. You're not going to be the last person today. It's a constant break. And if it was one of those things where you walked in, it's almost like you want to walk into a restaurant and say, okay, everybody who wants a picture, come get it right now so I can sit down and eat my meal and have the rest of my evening without y'all coming. 5 minutes later is another one, like you're the first person, and John Randall had that happen in Atlanta, and I actually give John Randall credit for how he handled it. So a kid walked up, it was at Warren Moon's bowling deal, and a kid walked up to him and had a bowling pin, because I guess they were signing bowling pins, and walked up to John Randall and asked him if he'd sign it. And he said, young man, there's a whole bunch of them over there. Go talk to him about getting it. He's like, because I already signed a bunch of them. And the kid kind of kept going. And he's like, go over there and check on it and see what they say. He's like, I've already signed a whole bunch of them. And so the kid walked off. I guess he went over there and came back and said, yeah, they're out of them. And John basically told him, he's like, look, I'll sign it later, but I'm not going to sign it right now. Point being, he didn't want everybody seeing him just randomly sign stuff, because what happens. People just start walking. You're just going to have everybody coming up. So, and then he, the kid was like, what should I do, to get into the NFL? And John goes, how old are you? And I think kid was like 13 years old. He's like, so you're going into high school? And he said, yeah. And John said, graduate high school.
How about that? He wasn't lying. You got to graduate first.
Graduate high school. He's like, you don't need to be worrying about the NFL. You need to be worrying about graduating from high school. You need to worry about getting into college. You need to worry about, even, great.
He's probably telling
freshman
them,
to sophomore.
He's probably low key telling them, look, kid, you probably don't have what it takes.
Yeah. But I've heard that's, Flozell's done that before. What do I need to do to get in the NFL? You need to finish this year. I mean, worry about what you got going on now. Don't worry, what's coming up 7-8 years down the road.
Man, you know how much stuff can happen in between now and then. And you may not even like football then, but one thing for sure, you're going to have to graduate.
Yeah.
Period. Football don't have to happen for you, but graduation should.
Well, but you can't go to college.
You can't do anything.
If you don't graduate from high school. If you don't finish your freshman year in college, you can't be a sophomore. You can't finish. I mean, every year you have to finish the year. I mean, that's what you need to worry about.
And a lot of, as far as fans are concerned, a lot of parents put their kids up to stuff too.
Oh yeah.
Hey, go sign this. I said, there's no way this kid knows, who these players are or whatever. You have those autograph sharks that want to get stuff signed so they can turn around and sell it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Those type of guys too. So
you saw one yesterday with his little backpack with 2 footballs in it.
Oh, I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah, the guy in the white shirt.
I didn't see him.
You were talking to him.
Was I?
Yep. You were talking to him.
I promise you I was out of there. I didn't.
No, when we first got there, behind the deal, he was wearing a white shirt, a hat. He was the guy in the golf cart right to our left. If you looked in his backpack, he had 2 footballs.
I didn't see the backpack. That's
Yeah.
that's the yeah. And it's always like you said. Good morning, Mike. And it's always those guys that you see or people that you see. They come up with that uncomfortable silence. You know why they walk it up.
Oh
Like,
yeah, it's awkward as shit.
yeah, because you
Yeah.
walk it up in somebody's presence that you probably wouldn't normally talk to.
Yeah.
And so
It's awkward, and they're not even asking for my autograph, and I'm like, this is because they're just staring at you like,
like what you staring at me for? Yeah, but it makes you wonder how people get to that point where you're such a huge fan. But I don't. But I get it though, because I was the same way when I seen Eric Williams yesterday. So I had a moment. I had a moment, but that was really more so out of respect.
but yeah, he was engaging. You know, obviously Flozell, and he was engaging and talking to you, where I mean, that is he wasn't sitting at a table with the group of people, and you just standing there with that awkward.
Nah, I was going to talk to him regardless,
Yeah.
because when I heard his name first called across the thing, I was looking. I said,
Where the hell is he at?
I was like, who here? I was like, who's here? And took a look around, and I didn't see him. And I actually didn't see him until we took our cart, to go put the clubs up. That's when I see him. I said, man, he got a lot smaller. But I was like, I'm going to make my way to talk to him. I bet you I will.
And with football players, it's a whole different deal, because for the most part, you see your player in a helmet. I mean, when I saw when we were at checking everybody and doing all the stuff, when Ron Harper walked in, I was like, oh, I know exactly who that is.
Absolutely.
Freaking Ron Harper. Montel Jordan showed up, which is one of Cameron's favorite stories, is that Montel Jordan whipped around and goes, see you later, Zach. And he's like, you know Montel? I'm like, Montel don't know me. Montel knows that I went and got his crap from the hotel, put it in an Uber so that he could leave directly from the golf course to go get on a plane. Montel Jordan doesn't know who I am. I guarantee if I walked up to him today, he'd be like, can I help you? He don't know who I am. All he knew was, hey, Zach went and got my stuff because, I asked, hey, man, I really I don't have time. I'm golfing. I got to catch a plane. That's the only reason he knew who I was.
Right. All good.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
But yeah, I mean, he came up and engaged us. The weird stuff's always when you're right that most of these people, I mean, John Randall has a very recognizable face. Randy Moss has, but I think he's done a ton on TV. The guys who have done a lot of TV time, but otherwise, nobody knows who. I see a player, I'm like, oh, okay, I have no idea who you are. You're gonna have to tell me, or put a helmet on and your number with your name on the back of it. With your name on the back of it.
Right. So people know. Jeez.
And stand in whatever position you do when you get on the line.
That's a little bit too much, man.
I don't know. As long as you got a shirt on with your name on it, I'll know who you are.
People be amazed, man. I mean, people have never seen it before. You have to walk around with somebody to really get the full effect and see how people react when people that they're fans of come around, or if you actually bigger than everybody, just put on our shoes one day and just see how it feels, man.
Yeah, but y'all get it just because of mass.
Right.
I mean, people are like, okay, I know that has to be somebody who did, who played or who did X. But I mean, you look at somebody like, see, Barry's very, very recognizable, and he looks just like he always has.
Right.
Thurman would probably be one of those people you wouldn't, if he wasn't in Buffalo, if he was walking down the street, nobody'd know who he was.
And that's probably perfectly fine with him.
Yeah. Kenny, except Kenny wears the Super Bowl ring, so somebody can be like, is that a Super Bowl ring?
Yeah. Yeah, it's something else.
Yeah.
Man, not to switch gears here, but
Switch them.
I'm reading some stories about Penn State and how they actually had another sexual predator before Jerry Sandusky.
Mm.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, how they let it happen again?
Yeah, it said it was 43 years ago. A guy named Todd Hott said his career ended when the sexual abuse committed by an assistant. Oh no! They're talking about. They're still talking about Jerry Sandusky. That's a terrible story, man. I
All
don't
that
know how
stuff.
that go. I don't know how that goes on in a football team.
I don't
I
know
don't
how it
understand.
goes on in gymnastics or Boy Scouts, or I don't understand how you don't. How do you not? I mean, ever since the 70s, how do you not have a discussion with your child about proper contact, proper and improper contact? How do you not have that discussion with somebody?
I don't know.
Joe Paterno knew that was going on.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird deal with the Joe Paterno thing because part of supposedly he reported it and it wasn't his. I don't know. Obviously he could have said, I don't want you on my coaching staff, I don't want you to be anywhere near. But the college is kind of the one who never really did anything. Although, I mean, obviously he retired and pretty quickly passed away. Michigan State had what's his name with all the girls here in Texas and up there and everywhere else.
Who?
The gymnastics coach from Michigan State was
Oh,
USA Gymnastics. Now they swept that one under the rug. The USA Gymnastics stuff.
what was his name? I'm just really trying to remember his name.
What guy's wife knew?
Talking about Joe, not Joe Paterno.
Joe Paterno.
Yeah, Joe Paterno was it Jerry Sandusky.
So he's saying
Yeah.
Joe Paterno knew about it. The head coach.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Oh, Nasser. Yeah, the with the
Larry Nasser. Yep. USA Gymnastics.
yeah.
He put up MJ, Michael Jordan. On top of that, I mean, Kobe Bryant's now a saint.
I mean,
Compared
he
to
fucked the girl in the ass. Come on, dude. They do it all the time. I
and
mean,
yet,
it ain't a crime.
yeah.
It's not like he raped her. Yeah, I mean, why would they even put that law into place? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, how? Come on, man. That was consensual sex. That's
She
not
didn't. She
rape.
said it wasn't. So now we and I agree. You have
Bullshit.
the whole argument of
Bullshit.
hashtag. Oh, Michael Jackson. Oh yeah, yeah. We know Jackson liked to touch little boys, but
I don't know about
we're
that.
not
Did you
deleting
watch
his
the
music
story?
either way.
I don't know about that one, dude. I don't know about that one. They did try to, mess up his name and stuff. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but unless you're able to prove it without a shadow of a doubt, that man innocent. I mean,
I'm the man's gone, so I'm not gonna stop playing Michael Jackson music. So I'm good.
absolutely
I'm
not.
gonna move on. I think we're in a different world now. I think now we are more in the. I would hope that parents in this day and age are now having better discussions with their kids
Yeah.
than they've had in the past. Of, if you feel uncomfortable, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's the president of the United fucking States. If you feel uncomfortable with how anybody touches you, you need to let me know.
Yeah, it's a lot
You
of
know,
stuff. Yeah, need to let me know. Let a person, because you don't know what people going through these days. I think it's always has been a part of society, but there's a lot of hush hush about things, and you got to watch family members too. So you just never know where you're. I would hate to have kids, little bitty kids, in this era. I would really hate that.
Yeah.
I would really hate that. It's a tough job these days. It's not like you could just keep them away from social media and TV and all that stuff there, but to turn around and place them, your hopes and dreams into the hands of a coach, which a lot of players, parents do. Especially if your kids in baseball these days and basketball, parents put a lot of hopes and 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 dreams into their kids. And I'm not gonna say necessarily for the kids' best interest, but it'd be for the parents as well.
Oh,
They want,
living vicariously through their kids because they
yeah,
couldn't do it. Oh no,
yeah,
yeah. Or
yeah.
they want them, or you know, yeah. That is the. I mean, they've got. We talked about that not too long ago about the parents who hold their kids back a year so that they're bigger as they go into first
But
grade.
But it's not only that; it's the position that you put the child in. And
Right.
some of these sports, these sports travel, and these kids spend a ton of time with these coaches, quote unquote coaches, and they're put in positions where these coaches become a parent figure in a well trusted figure. You got to think about those sports like gymnastics and baseball, basketball, where they travel all the time and the parents can't necessarily come
Yeah.
um, to all these games, so they're with the coach. So the opportunity for some type of heinous act to happen uh, is there,
Yeah.
and so I think we're seeing it, or at least hearing about it, a lot more than what we used to hear about it. And I bet if some of the people that came up through the sport back in the day, they might have other stories to tell. But
Oh
that's
yeah. Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. And that's what you got with Nasser. And the reason Nasser got away with it as long as he did is because what he was doing is actually it's actually medically proven that it helps pressure on your back. But he was doing it even when it wasn't needed. But the
Doing what?
sticking fingers in places. So supposedly there you can go internally and relieve pressure on the back of women. Are you with me?
By sticking your finger in the ass?
I don't think it's the ass. I don't know what I mean. We can look that up, but suppose that so. But he was doing it even when it was unneeded. So that is why
It
you know.
was needed. It wasn't for the back. That's for
But
damn
you
sure.
did see with Larry Nasser that as soon as some of the more current the because it started out with the younger ones, then you started seeing all the previous gold medalists and all the older women start coming forward and saying, yes, he was doing it to me. Well, yes, he was doing it. Oh, well, yes, he was doing it to me. And it's like, oh, well, crap. He's actually been doing
Is
this for
that
a
what
long
they
time.
said? I need to go back and look at this because I didn't know that was exactly what was going on. So he was actually using the old hand, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. And
To
getting away with it.
relieve pressure. Yeah. Now I know somebody.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
Now I will say this: I do know a female who says it never happened to her, who knew him and asked him the Christmas before, did you actually were you actually doing this? And he told her no, and then come and find out
But we're
because he
talking
had
about
100.
kids. We're
He
talking
had
about
a
children.
yeah. He had 100 and something. Yeah, he had 100 and something victims. I don't know what
Wow.
his final count was. It was ridiculous. 168. What
Wow.
was Nasser's? Um,
Wow.
yeah, it's that man.
Oh my goodness. Mike.
What? That's messed up.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if that's true or not, man. Hey, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
What did he get? 10 counts and 2 counties.
That's ridiculous. That is absolutely terrible.
Yeah,
That's absolutely that's absolutely terrible. I mean, and these are children we're talking about. This guy living a whole fantasy out. Oh,
yeah.
Mike, that's the truth. He said he was sticking his finger in it and licking his finger
Uh,
like he was at KFC or something.
yeah.
What does it say,
I'm
Zach?
I'm looking. 100. Da.
To my Carl Nassar.
Since then, over 250 women and girls have accused Nasser of sexually abusing them. Many of them were minors at the times of the crimes. I mean, because you also don't know the women who are the 156 women who confront. Oh, so 156. And you don't know how many have come out of the woodworks because of the lawsuit against USA Gymnastics, which I don't even understand how USA Gymnastics even exists anymore. I don't understand how USA Gymnastics literally continued to allow Larry Nassar after they had already received knowledge that he was doing this, how they let him stay there. I mean, years, decades, he stayed there after his first accuser. How does that even happen? And how do they even exist anymore?
Man, I don't know. Wow. So it's just funny how when you type up this stuff, people want to know exactly what happened. And yeah, it says sex scandal. I mean, yeah, sex abuse scandal. That's what it says. But I didn't know that's exactly what the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, did
I might
you
need to try that.
find out what he was doing?
No, I didn't. I was just okay, there you go. It says he committed sexual assaults during medical examinations and purported treatments. Molestations range from his inserting his fingers into. I'm sorry. I'm
Into
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm just looking. I think we look at this because we think we looking at it from a grown person standpoint. Oh my god.
It's not funny, but
it's, it's not, dude. It's not. It's not, man. It's not. But when you think about adults, I'm thinking about it. Oh my god. Oh, oh my god. Ooh.
So what did he actually? I'm trying to sit here and find. I'm trying to. What article are you reading?
No. Type. Oh shit. Type. Oh. Oh. All right. Type in the search bar. Nassar Gymnastics. What did he do?
Nassar
Gymnastics. What did he do? Oh man. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean, I'm not laughing at the actual act, but you gotta understand my friends, man. Do you
Are
see
you
it?
talking about what pops up?
Yeah.
According to those reports, Nassar committed sexual assault during a medical examiner and purported treatments. The molestations ranged from inserting a finger into the gymnast's vaginas and anuses to fondling their breasts and genitalia. What's your breast got to do with it?
Man, he was getting it in, wasn't he?
Just one hand here and one hand there?
Oh man. I mean, he's taking pure advantage of kids. That's ridiculous, man. I'm like, and you said hundreds of gymnasts. So I wonder if they talked about
250. They got 250 right now so far.
250 women. I mean,
But
were they all women?
Yeah. They're well, yeah. I mean, unless a dude's got a vagina.
Well, it says anuses too. That don't mean
Because it was to relieve pressure on the I remember because I was actually curious when it first came out, you know, because it's an actual medical procedure, and you're sitting here going, okay, you know, what in the world do you do? And come to find out, you can relieve pressure. But you wouldn't go to your mom or your dad and say, by the way, or your mom, I guess in that case.
Ass, of course it's gonna relieve some gas. You go, you're gonna loosen up. That's where you think Ric Flair got the woo from. That's
Larry Nassar's finger up his ass. Woo!
Yeah, somebody puts a finger up where it ain't supposed to be. Yeah, imagine how much pressure was released. yeah, it worked. That's crazy. I wonder if the parents knew this the whole time.
But that's the question. Wouldn't you? I mean, as a child, wouldn't you be like, hey, I just want to let you know this is going on. This is what he says it does. And then as a parent, wouldn't you go, hey, you're gonna need to explain this to me?
But this is what I'm saying. This is why I was trying to make the connection earlier to parents putting so much into these kids that you place them into the hands of these coaches, and they
look up to. No, that they
not only
look
that.
up to.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. You want these kids to go professional so bad that you actually literally almost give your child away. You place them into the hands of a coaching staff or coaching staff for whatever aspect or whatever sport it is, and they are subjected to all types of treatments. So
it's you listen to your coach. How many times listen to your coach? What'd your coach say you do?
And there's absolutely no parents around. And there's absolutely no parents around. And shit like this happens. So I just makes me wonder, well, the girls, I mean, these are young baby girls. So
13 to 16, 17, 18, yeah.
Yeah, they was talking about that shit. Did he stick his finger in your ass?
You know that conversation happened afterwards.
Oh, like,
no, you know afterwards.
Yeah, it's like, because even as a kid, I remember our first physical as a guy where you had to pull your pants down and cough and shit. We talked about that. It was like, hey man, did you get your nuts? They were juggling your nuts. Even if like
during the hernia test, juggling a little too much.
Test. So I remember us saying that. You know what I'm saying? That was the biggest part. Like, man, I don't want this motherfucker touching my nuts. You know what I'm saying? So we talked about that. So that makes you wonder if the young ladies were speaking about that, and they just didn't have a platform really to speak about it on. It's just crazy, man.
It is.
It's crazy, man. But yeah, this story that I was reading about, Jerry Sandusky not being the first sexual scandal at Penn State. This other guy was going out and raping women at knife point. He was a player.
Damn.
Ain't that a bitch? Yeah. He was a player back in the 70s. So
we ain't got enough time, but then you got the whole Catholic Church. So
Lord have mercy. Man, I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
All right, guys, we've hit our hour, man. We appreciate you. Catch us every Tuesday and Thursday. Facebook,
YouTube, Twitter.
Yep, Twitter. Man, we thank y'all. Y'all have a good one. Have a good week. We'll see you on Friday.